Nucasa, the finishing touch, is sponsored by Nucasa Milling Company.
All right, everybody, we're talking about something that seems so very complicated. It intimidates a lot of people, but really at its core, it's a pretty simple concept, and if you have the right materials, it works extremely well. David Laniado joining us now to talk about crown molding. How are you, David?
I'm good.
How much fear does crown molding put into people?
It's one of the toughest things in people's minds to put up because of the angles, and it's just intimidating.
Well, you say it's intimidating in people's minds, but really, when you get down to it, it's a fairly simple process.
It really is. It really is.
Okay, tell us about the material first and what we're actually looking at when we're looking at a crown mold.
So we're looking at, this is a basic crown here. There's a whole bunch of different crowns size-wise. This is a pretty beefy crown. We've got smaller crowns here. This is actually what we call a build-up. So this is a crown build-up. And we're going to show you a little later some finished crowns combinations, and you can go from one crown to as much as 8 or 10 pieces.
Well, and that's what gives the effect, because once again, something can look so complicated, but it's really just a process of sort of going down.
Exactly.
How easy is it to show people that process? I mean, when they're coming in somewhere and they're looking at crown molding, is there a mock-up people look at? Can you see how it all goes together?
Absolutely. There's some great places where people can go in and have a look at the crowns just in stick form from a build-up to a finished product, so they can really get a sense of what it's going to look like in their home.
And we wanted to talk about this because this is a very cool combination of materials.
Yeah, this is a real neat product. It's called a composition molding, and it's basically a crown like this. Is actually this crown here with a putty that's been filled in, and then a stamp that's been rolled over it. And you can really see this is actually an Italian design. It can be painted, it can be stained, and it looks phenomenal when it's finished.
And that's an amazing statement. It can be painted, it can be stained, and when it's stained, it's uniform.
It's uniform. It looks like a hand-tooled Italian masterpiece. Yeah.
And a lot of people, you were telling me a little bit before, actually use these for picture frames as well.
Picture frames, yeah. It's a great molding for a picture frame.
But when you look up at a ceiling like this, the effect that it has, it looks like it's hand carved, like someone's
very dramatic.
With a knife forever.
Very dramatic.
This one actually comes apart, David. Explain the multi-purpose aspect of this.
Well, basically, Mike, this is a baseboard that's been flipped upside down. So you can really get your imagination to run wild. Baseboard on the wall, crown towards the ceiling.
And then that's
bang,
your build-up.
You've got a build-up. You've got a very dramatic effect.
Very
And
nice.
you can do this, of course, just with the crown by itself.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's and you can add multiple moldings to that.
And tie in your baseboards as well, the detail.
Exactly.
All right, well, the first step for people is to go in, pick a design, figure it out, and maybe have a professional install it.
A professional installation on the crown is probably a good idea. If you're pretty handy and you're patient, then it's a good project.
Well, and look at the way, I mean, when it's up, the effect that it has in a room, it can take a very plain room and just make it pop, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Beautiful. Thank you, David.
Nucasa, the finishing touch, was brought to you by Nucasa Milling Company.